You're gonna love these, Nicole.
Gorgeous.
You like it?
Yes.
Hey guys, it's Ray Alvarez, Shoot with Ray, and you are now watching Headshot Formula 2.0. This video is way overdue. It's been such a long time. For those of you who have watched part 1 of my headshot BTS, setup of the lighting, setup of everything headshots, welcome to a new version of this headshot video. In this video, I'm gonna show you guys how to set up your headshot station wirelessly with all of the new tools that I have here in my kit. And of course, I'm gonna run through a headshot session for you guys to watch how I cue, pose, and direct my subjects, clients. And I hope you guys enjoy this one. Let's get right to it. So the Westcott X-Strap comes in 3 different colors if you get the kit. And the kit comes in white, light gray, and black. And I always like to use the white one because, again, with the different settings you can place on your lighting, it can definitely dramatically change the color and the lighting that falls on this backdrop. In this case, the white. This backdrop is so simple to use. If you've seen the previous videos, especially the one where I talk about the Westcott, it's so simple to set up, quick and easy. I'm not really rushing right now because I want this tutorial to be a great step-by-step for you guys, but this is almost done. So some people worry about the wrinkles. Keep in mind that if you stretch out enough, you lose the wrinkles. Your lighting is also going to help you spread these wrinkles out so you don't see them. But at the same time, if you use a steamer, you can definitely do that, or you can edit the wrinkles out in post. But if you're shooting with a shallow depth of field, you'll get rid of the wrinkles easily. All right, so the next step is the reflector. And what's going to be holding up my reflector is my Cheetah Stand C8. This is the smaller version and it's so compact. Wherever you are, you just set it down and it's ready to go. And if you want to move around, let's say you're doing a portrait shoot outdoors somewhere, just pick it up and you head out. So this is what I use to hold up my reflector. And then I have the Angler mini reflector. Secure that. What this does is reflects the lighting that is going to come from above and reflect it right back to fill up the undershadows and of course help with catch lights, which in my opinion, I love catch lights for headshots. Let's set up the stands for the lighting. Now guys, you can use any stand you like. I prefer to use a C stand. Sometimes I find myself using the C10 by Cheetah Stand. But in this case, for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna be using the C stand I always use for my headshots. This setup, well, This setup takes 10 minutes to complete, roughly, on a good day if you're being fast, and less minutes to break down. So 10 to set up, 10 to break down, that's 20 minutes. The rest of that time you spend shooting, so you dedicate 1 hour to your client. Since most of the weight will be on this side of things, I'm gonna put the longer leg on this side, and I'm also gonna counterweight it with a sandbag. In my previous video, if you saw the comments, you saw people were making fun of me because I didn't put a sandbag. You don't need it, but for safety, I recommend it. However, there's a way that you can test it to make sure that it's not going to tip over either side or on your subject, on your client. You don't want that, that's gonna be a bad day. So guys, I want to talk about the softbox selection for this video. In the last video, I was using my 48-inch softbox. In this case, I'm going to be using the 42 MagMod softbox. All of the softboxes I'm going to be using today are MagMod. You can use whichever one you like, but I highly recommend the MagMod brand. That's it, ready to go. Guys, I wanted to mention, when you're using the softbox for these headshots, I don't use a grid because that's part of the reason why I can control the light spill on the backdrop, which also helps me create that light gray or dark gray effect on the backdrop. Hence why I don't use a grid, so I don't recommend it. So let's talk about lighting. So in my previous videos, I've used the AD400 or the AD600. In today's video, I'm gonna do something different. Now, you can continue to use the AD400 or the AD600. I'll link you up to that video right there. But today, since I'm not gonna be using a lot of light, it's just one individual, I'm not gonna continuously keep shooting, I'm gonna be using the AD200. And this is a 3-piece setup. So you have the mag grip, which is this magnetic piece right here, which will then connect to this via magnets. And then you have this piece here, which will hook up here using a cold shoe method. And that is a contraption. This is an AD200. I have to put the battery in. All right, so I added the battery. It's in there now. I'm gonna keep this on group A because this is my key light. Later in the video, I'm gonna show you guys if you wanted to use a secondary light, which you can. My setup doesn't include it. However, I'm gonna show you guys so that way you guys can see how that changes things in your photo shoot and in your pictures. Last but not least, now we're gonna attach this piece here. There you go. It's all hooked up. And now we lift it off the ground and put it on a C-stand. Okay, do a safety check, make sure everything is secure, and that your light is on. You don't want to forget that. Perfect. So now up it goes. And it's good there for now. Do another check, make sure it's not going to tip over, that it's not too weighted on this side, it's not too heavy. Should be good. You want to make sure your subject is about 2 to 3 feet away from the backdrop. This would be a good spot here. So keep in mind, guys, there's a difference between a headshot and a portrait. we're aiming for headshots today. So that means that this reflector is going to be right around this area here. Once my subject comes into the shot, we'll fix it and we'll make sure that the height is good. For now, this is all right. This light right above us, I'm gonna lift it just a tad bit more. This is my size, but I believe Nicole might be a little taller. We'll see. And this is gonna go a little higher. So guys, this is the PosePerfect Mat. I'm adding it to the setup as well. This is also something new. Now, the purpose of the PosePerfect Mat is to make posing and standing easier for your subject. When your subject is standing in front of your mat, you just simply tell your subject, stand on the yellow. So they'll take their feet and they'll stand on the yellow and they'll be centered to you. Stand on the red. If you want their right profile, stand on the blue. If you want their left profile, it's perfect. The link to the PosePerfect Mat is down below in the description. So guys, as you can see, this is the setup, all finalized, wireless. One of the big things that I like to show off is that it's a wireless setup. All right guys, so now that we set up the backdrop and everything else, a few more tools that you're gonna be needing: your camera. I'm using the Sony a7R5 and then the iPad. And the reason for the two is because I get to review the images with my client to make sure that we're headed the right direction, to make sure they like the pictures that they see, and to make sure that there's no surprises later. You don't want your client to go back home, look at the proofs that you shot of them during your session, and then they hate everything. So might as well show them during the shoot, so that way there's no confusion, there's no surprises. You're also gonna need a lint brush and your phone or a mirror. I'll show you this one in a bit. All right guys, so I have a disclaimer for you. This is the way I do my headshots. This is what works for me, my workflow, my system, what makes me some good money. If you want to implement it into your workflow, go ahead and do that. But just remember guys, this isn't the best way, this isn't the only way. There's so many ways you can do this. Keep an open mind. All right, so now let's get started with the headshot session, and we'll have Nicole come right in. And you're gonna step on the yellow footprints. Perfect. All right guys, so as you can see, the first step was to bring your subject or your client into the shot and place them on the mat. Direct them and tell them exactly which color you want them to step on so you can frame them in your camera. And now we're gonna get started with the session. So Nicole, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna set up my lighting, make sure everything looks good. So just bear with me a sec, you don't physically have to do anything. I'm just gonna set everything up, okay? And during this time, what I'm doing is I'm setting up my camera settings, my auto white balance. I usually shoot at 1/200, about 2.8. Sometimes I go higher with my aperture, and then ISO 80 or 100. So my key light, which is on channel 4, group A, is going to be 1/32. So thank you, Nicole, for your patience. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shift the placement of my key light just a tad bit to make sure it matches where I would like it to be. What I'm looking for is, I don't want the light to fall directly on her. I want it to be feathered, so I want the edge a little bit closer to the front of her body, the front of her face, so that way that light falls down nicely and evenly, and it also hits this reflector here. We'll do one more check safely, make sure everything is good and it's not gonna fall on the model. How you doing, Nicole? So far good?
So far so good.
All right. That is much better. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is instruct the client as to my process, so that way they know what's happening. You don't want any surprises. You want to put them at ease and provide them a great experience. So Nicole, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start off with a center shot just like this. You're in a perfect spot. I'm gonna check everything, make sure everything looks good, and then after that, we'll get started. After that, we're gonna do your right profile, and then we'll do your left profile, okay? So the first thing we're gonna do is make sure that we remove any lint. So let's grab our lint brush. Just kind of brush this area. I'll look out for some lint as well. While your client is adjusting and making sure that they look out for any lint or anything that needs to be taken out, less Photoshop is way better. You're also looking out, making sure you find anything that needs to be fixed. Center the jacket, fix the necklace, fix the earrings. If you see any spots with hair that stand out and you want to correct it, you make sure you do that now. Perfect. So now, if you don't have a mirror, you use selfie mode on your phone. Go ahead and check, make sure everything looks good. Hair placement, necklace. At the conventions, people love this. They think we're geniuses for this. Jacket placement looks good. Everything looks symmetrical. So now we're gonna get started, okay? You're gonna lift up your chin just a slight bit. You're gonna look directly at the camera and just start off with a straight face. No smiles, no nothing, no emotion. All right, and the next step is you're gonna give me a nice little smirk. And then go ahead with a smile. Perfect. Awesome, very good. You have the choice to shoot vertical or landscape. That's completely up to you. Sometimes I like to shoot landscape because I like to give people negative space so that way in case they want to crop in later on to place this headshot on LinkedIn, Facebook, or any social media, that's a good way to do it. All right, so now I want you to step on red for me. That's gonna shift you to your side so we can capture your right profile. There you go. Now you're gonna see my hand. All you need to do is just move your face to the direction of my hand, okay? So just shift a little bit to your right, just like that. Freeze right there, that's perfect. Hold it right there for me. And then a smirk, and then a smile. Do you like to smile in your photos?
I do.
Yeah? All right, let's do that one more time. 1, 2, and 3 with the smile. So a good question you should ask your client is, do they like to smile in their photos? And the reason you ask that is because if they don't like to smile in their photos, they'll tell you. But if they don't, you just don't want to surprise them with a smile or kind of make them feel like you're forcing them to smile. So you always ask. All right, so now I need you to step on blue for me. Perfect. All right, one more time. Let's center the necklace, center the jacket. Perfect. Do you need a mirror?
I might need one.
All right, let's do it one more time with selfie mode on the phone. There you go.
Okay,
looks good? Awesome. All right, one more time. I'm gonna follow my hand just with your face and this way. Perfect. Chest a little bit more this way. Hold it right there. Freeze. 1, 2, and 3. Let's do that again. And then a smirk, and then a smile. Chin up just a slight bit more. Perfect. That looks awesome. All right, so now we're gonna review, and this is where the iPad comes in. There's a video I created before where it shows you how to sync your iPad to your Nikon, Sony, or camera. You can watch that right up here. And now we're gonna show the client what she looks like to make sure that we're headed the right direction. All right, Nicole, so we're starting backwards. You're gonna see all the pictures we took, starting with the last one. Feel free to just scroll through them and just let me know if you see anything that you don't like. This is a good time to kind of see their reactions and, you know, the emotion in the face. Sometimes you can tell when someone doesn't like something and that'll stand out to you. And that's where you say, okay, is there something you don't like about this photo? Something you don't like about the pose, the lighting? Is the light flattering? You look out for those things and you address their concerns.
I think these are really nice.
You like them?
Yes.
Which side do you like better?
I think I like this side better.
Your right profile?
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, there's gonna be a moment in time when you're working with someone and they hate one of their sides. Everyone's always going to have a side. It's either going to be the left side or it's going to be the right side.
And this is my better side of my face.
That's a better side? Perfect.
I actually like the other one better, but okay.
You like the, okay, all right. So at least we have it, it's there. In this case, Nicole likes her right side. All right, Nicole, we're doing fantastic. So what I'm gonna have you do now is you're gonna step on red for me and we're gonna work with your right profile one more time. All right, that's good. So what I'm gonna have you do is relax your shoulder a little bit more for me, right? Turn your chest a slight bit more this way, right there, and then your face right this way. Perfect, hold it right there for me. We'll start off with a serious face. 1, 2, and 3. One more time. And then with a smirk. And then a smile. Just a light smile. There you go. We're gonna do that one more time. Wonderful. All right, perfect. We're gonna review one more time. You're gonna love these, Nicole.
Gorgeous.
You like it?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Guys, in the previous video that I made in headshot formula number 1, I always point out that there might be some things you need to fix here in this area, on the jacket, in their hair. If you're by yourself, I recommend bringing an assistant, hiring an assistant with you, so that way that person can focus on those details. You have so much to worry about. You have to worry about lighting, composition, framing, settings. You might forget these things. So this is where your assistant comes in and helps you out with these things. So for example, I have Kay here and she's going to help us out. Let's say she needs to adjust the necklace. Hey Kay, can you please adjust this necklace for me so that way Nicole looks fantastic? Awesome. Instead of you doing it, your assistant can do it. If you're working with a female, preferably try to get a female assistant so that way she can help you out. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a secondary light to this. So I'm gonna have Nicole take a break, set up that lighting, and then go from there. All right, Nicole, you're good to go. You can take a quick break. Thank you. All right, guys, so I added the Mag-Mod strip box. I don't use this for my headshots. Sometimes I do. Some clients do prefer a 2-light setup, and in that event, this is where this comes in. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna turn on B, which is where my secondary light is on. And I can't test it without anybody in front of me. So here in a few seconds, I'm gonna be calling Nicole back into the shot so we can test the lighting. Act like we've never done it before because this is just for video purposes. And we're gonna run through those headshots one more time with a secondary light. All right, Nicole, I'm gonna have you come into yellow for me. There you go, awesome. And like I said before, I'm just gonna test my lighting, make sure everything's good. So you just hang tight. Stay right there. You don't physically have to do anything. Awesome. All right, guys, so I've added Group B, which is my secondary light. Nicole's here. I've tested it. I'm happy with it. You'll see it on your screen here in a moment. But now we're going to do the headshot session one more time so you can see the difference between 1 light and 2 lights. All right, Nicole, we're going to start off with the center shots. I have Kay over here. She's going to be assisting us. Kay, can you come here real quick and just fix our necklace? Make sure it's centered for me. There you go. Perfect. All right. And then let's just center the jacket just a little bit more. Here, I'll show you a little selfie to make sure you are happy with the way that looks.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, let's proceed with the shoot. I'm looking out for lint. Earrings look good, hair looks good, necklace, perfect. All right, we'll start off with a center shot. Hold it right there for me. 1, 2, and 3. And then with a smirk, and then with a smile. Wonderful. Last but not least, let's have you turn to red. There you go, just like that. Follow my hand a little bit more. Freeze right there. Perfect. 1, 2, and 3. One more time. 1, 2. And a smirk. And a smile. All right, so that round is good. I'm gonna show you, we're gonna work backwards. Let me know if you see something that you don't like, and we'll go from there.
Okay, let's retake this one so I can adjust my head pose.
Okay. All right, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna actually lift your chin up a little bit more. Perfect. Turn this way slightly. Freeze right there. That's actually really good. Extrude your neck a little forward, just like you did just now. Perfect. 1, 2, and 3. And then a smirk. And then a smile. Much better. Let's check those out. Let's make sure you like it. How's that?
Yeah, I like that better.
Awesome. Perfect. All right, guys. So that's how you do the session. And now we're going to talk a little bit about settings on your camera, your lens, and your editing. All right, guys, so the lens of choice is a 90mm for me. I love using the 90mm for headshots. You guys can use the 70-200, which is comparable, or even a 50mm. I really don't like to use wide lenses for headshots. It just doesn't look right. It extends and distorts everything, especially around the edges. So like I said, the 90mm is a lens of choice, but you can use whatever you prefer. In terms of editing, I love to use Evoto, and that'll be another video for another day where I show you guys how to edit the headshots from today's session. So for this session, I shot at 2.8, and the reason I did that is because I like a shallow depth of field. However, whenever you want more of the facial area, and especially back here, to be in focus, you shoot with a higher aperture, f4 or higher than that, just so you can get these details in the back. Now, most of the time I am swapping the background on my headshots, or I'm adjusting the background on my headshots. And for that reason, I shoot less shallow, so that way I have those fine details where programs like Photoshop or Evoto can easily remove you from the background, so that way you can make modifications to the background. Guys, so earlier I mentioned that I would be using something new in my arsenal for the headshots. That was the 80-200. Like I said, being that this is an instructional video for you guys, I didn't need that much power. Sometimes we might find ourselves at conventions or group headshots where we have to capture headshots for more than 5 or 10 or even higher numbers of individuals. So in that case, you're gonna need a light source that is powerful, yet has a fast recycle time within the battery power. So for that reason, I'll go back to the 8600, which you can see in my previous headshot videos, which is this one here. Now this is the older 8600 unit. I have the brand new one. I didn't have it for this video, but it doesn't matter. The point is that you can use any light, but if you're gonna use a high powered light like the 8600, this is gonna be the only one that includes a wire. However, that wire will not be on the ground. It will not be a trip hazard for anyone. It's just so that way this really heavy unit is not on the top. It doesn't become top heavy. It is on the lower side of your kit, but the extension head will then be on the top portion of it. So the extension head, which is here, has the glass tube inside of here. This wire will go this way. We'll go ahead and set this a little smaller. I love BackBot. This is awesome. So guys, as you can see, this is the setup. This is the 42 with the extension head. It gets plugged into this. This goes on there. You tighten that. And then you get it as low as you can. It'll create kind of like to counterbalance the weight here. So in Headshot Formula 1, the original video, this is what I used, the 600. No wires, the only wire is this one. And again, this is just to run the power from here all the way to the top section of it, the extension head. And then that way it is not top heavy. So it's much lighter up here, less riskier, much more safer. But you have your powerful unit here, the 8600, which recycles super fast. Great for corporate functions, events, group shots, or where you're consistently shooting at high power or mid power and you need more battery and more power. Guys, that was Headshot Formula 2.0. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned from it. Now, LED lighting and continuous lighting is something that has been in the market for a while now, but a lot of photographers are kind of shifting that way. I'm starting to realize that. I myself, for one, am also doing the same thing. I want you to check out this new video that I just dropped. It's about continuous lighting, LED lighting, and how you can use it for your photo shoots. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.